Hi everyone, this is Dr. Katherine.Kelly, and I want to bring you some words of wisdom for the Soul Wisdom Wednesday about sexual trauma and what that does to our soul. Now, every night on the national news, we're watching the Harvey Weinstein case and some new information that comes out on either side. One thing that I just want to emphasize to people is the fact that what is happening with bringing this to our awareness is it's breaking down old traumas. So in the last few weeks, just the last few weeks, I've had, I don't know, even know how many clients come in talking about traumas that have happened to them decades ago or 10 years ago or 2 years ago or 4 years ago. And, they'd never really been ready to talk about it before. But I think because of the fact that this is becoming such a common topic in the news every night. It's in people's faces, it's on their radar, and it's also becoming less tolerated, which is what's allowing people to come forth and basically say, okay, I can't move on and evolve unless I heal this. And so even though it's a really horrible thing to see every day in the news, it's actually a beautiful thing from the healing space of the soul, because in my soul health model, I do have a sexual branch that I added. No other wellness model I know of an actual aspect of wellness that they isolate as sexual health. It's always tucked in very secretively under the physical branch. And as a psychologist and as someone who does holistic work and as someone who does soul work, I know the impact on the soul of sexual trauma. And it's pervasive, it's widespread about all of the other branches that are on my tree. And I try to help people understand that sexuality is the most sacred part of us. It's having sex with someone, being intimate with someone is the most intimate, most vulnerable, most sacred thing we can ever do. And if we have has violated that, it violated that sacredness, it's violated that space within us that is the essence of who we are, then we are going to have long-standing difficulties moving forth, because that again, that sense of self, that essence of who we are, is going to be damaged or wounded throughout the rest of our lives. And I honestly don't know a woman, whether it's my friends, whether it's family members, whether it's obviously a lot of clients, that hasn't had some sort of inappropriate sexual advance made to them. Now, from a statistical perspective, again, and are they comfortable reporting? But statistics show that 3 out of 4 women at least admit some sort of inappropriate touching or inappropriate manipulation about them to make them have sex, or create that dynamic where they feel guilty and they have to have sex, or there's just so many dynamics that go with it. But when we talk about the essence of the soul, the essence of who we are, when someone has violated us at that deep level in that way, it sticks with us for the rest of our lives. And so how does that affect other things? Well, it affects our ability to trust people. It affects our comfortability with our own sexuality. It affects comfortability having sex with someone. It affects body image. It affects self-esteem. It affects shame. It affects confidence. It affects everything. And, I want to make sure that we understand that this isn't just toward women, because there is a percentage of men out there or males out there who have also been sexually violated. So I'm not discluding or excluding males in this as well, but statistically speaking, it is generally women who are victimized from a sexual perspective. And the reason this feels so big is that I've had, like I said, several clients over the last few weeks come forth with really terrible situations that happened to them. Not that anyone is not terrible, but terrible situations that have happened to them in the past that they are just now ready to deal with, and it's coming forth. They didn't know why it was coming forth at this time, but I think it's because it is time. I tell people we don't really deal with stuff until we're tired enough of ourselves or our situations, or it's not time to deal with things, or we don't have enough information. Well, we're getting more information out there because of what's happening in the news, that this stuff is not okay. This is not okay behavior. manipulate someone into a work situation through sex. It's not okay for someone to be touched during a medical exam for a sports event. I mean, it's not okay anymore. And so with the information we're getting, women are able to come forth and go, okay, that happened to me too, and I want to heal it now. So it's really important for us to embrace this, because my guess is that everybody that is watching this video either knows someone, including themselves, that something has happened to, or we don't even think about the fact that the people around us might be traumatized too, and that may be causing some of their behavior in one way or another. So this is one of those unfortunate unifying situations, but on the other hand, this is a way to grow compassion. This is a way to understand that something has probably happened to the females in your life, whether they're friends, family, coworkers, whatever, that may be affecting who they are. It may be affecting their behavior. Their trauma might be so deeply ingrained in them that it is, if they trust others, if they are self-judging of themselves. I mean, there's so many different ways. And so for today's Soul Wisdom Wednesday, I just wanted to make sure that I brought this message to you that sexual trauma does hit the soul hard. It is one of those things that it just affects us at such a deep level that, it's important for you to seek help if you haven't already. Find someone you can talk to about this. Number two, there are really good books out there that will help you understand and normalize the fact that everything that you are experiencing as a result of the trauma is real, and this happens. Now, that is not a replacement for therapy at all, because I think therapy is really one of the only ways you can really get to the heart and soul of what has happened in that perspective. Talk to people who this has happened to before. That will help you as well. Watch the news if you feel comfortable, because it's actually going to empower you in many ways by realizing this is less tolerated than it's ever been. This is not going back into a box anymore of, oh, no, that didn't happen, or being kind of dismissed for the fact that this kind of stuff can happen. So it's a tough topic to talk about online, because I know I'm probably affecting and stirring up a lot of stuff in people, because this is not a new topic. This is something that is near and dear to a lot of people. But I also think it is so important for us to understand from a soul health perspective that sexual trauma affects us at such a deep level, and it is pervasive with all the other branches of my soul health model tree, that it's just important to go ahead and heal it. It's important to let that come to the surface so you can do the healing that needs to take place in order for you to have an aligned life and lead that radiant life that you want. So if you haven't already sought help, please do. And also be supportive of the people around you if they're going through this as well. So would love to hear what you have seen, what you have kind of been aware of as the Harvey Weinstein and the Epstein and every other case that's going on. What are you noticing around you within the women groups that you're in, and the men's groups that you're in? Because the more we can open this topic up, the more we help normalize the fact that we need to heal from this as well. So, let's open this dialogue, let's open this conversation, and get this stuff healed so that women can continue to evolve like they want to and need to in order to thrive. So, hope you have a wonderful day. Again, would love to hear from you. Just a little warning, Mercury is going into retrograde next week, so you may be feeling a few bumps coming up, but that, again, Mercury is there to help push stuff to the surface that needs to be dealt with anyway. So if the sexual trauma is one of those things that seems to pop up over the next few weeks, it may be time to start healing that and working through that. So, all right, wonderful day, and I will be back soon. Bye-bye.